Alright, what's up everybody? Go ahead and get started here in just a moment. I want to welcome you all to South Beach. We are currently standing in Collins Park. It's a beautiful night in Miami. Trust all of you are doing well. What I think we'll do tonight is walk directly down Collins Avenue. Maybe we'll check out Espanol Way. And if we have time, we'll check out all of the Art Deco buildings on Ocean Drive. South Beach has some of the highest concentration of Art Deco buildings in the entire United States. So it should be pretty fun. We're on the corner of 21st Street and Collins Avenue. This is the free trolley. So if you're visiting Miami, you can take the Miami Beach trolley. It's absolutely free, hop on, hop off. You don't have to take the bus. You don't want to pay any money, which is great. That's why I like North Beach particularly, because you can take the trolley from North Beach. I think it goes all the way up to like 81st Street, maybe? Perhaps 81st. And all the way down through South Beach to the south of 5th neighborhood. Let's go ahead and see who we have in the chat and we'll get started. I see Steph UF, Rick C, Jeff in Southern Tier, New York. Scott, welcome. Doc 7, Sally is here, RJ, lost, not yet found. Adriano. Great is here, say all watching from Arizona. Cheers. Thanks for joining us as we explore South Beach. Maria is here, Tim, Sarah. Now we're standing right across the street from the beautiful Eden Fine Art Gallery. And if you continue to look all the way in the distance, that's the beach. So the boardwalk will run you all the way from South Beach up through Mid Beach, through North Beach, and connects you all the way to the one and only Surfside. And I've liked what they've done so far, particularly with the new renovations and the construction on the boardwalk, because you can pretty much stay on the boardwalk all the way to the Haulover Inlet now. You never really have to deviate or get off, which is fantastic. I was just in the North Beach neighborhood, which is Little Buenos Aires, and I was checking out some of the construction on the new boardwalk, and it looks amazing. Michelle K is here, Joseph Hardaway, Jason Francis, DC322, what is going on? It's a beautiful night in Miami. DM is here, what's up? Thanks for joining us. This is Alec Monopoly. This is one of my favorite artists. You'll see his stuff all over Wynwood, Miami. Very, very unique. Look at that. Very cool. And it should be a pretty quiet night in South Beach. So it should be a very, very relaxing walk. Now, for those of you who are just joining, I just quickly want to announce, go ahead and check your emails, because I just sent out the latest issue of our free investing newsletter, Behind the Street. I think I sent it out at like 7:30. So go ahead and check that out. I think we covered a lot. The main topics we talked about in particular is bank earnings, right? It is the beginning of earnings season. We heard from some of the major Wall Street mega banks. Today we heard from Netflix. Netflix reported earnings and reported a pretty good quarter too. Now, we talked about the level of extension in the major equity indices. The market has been one of the strongest markets I've ever seen in my entire life. You had last week the NASDAQ 100 and the S&P 500 trading well into new all-time record highs. But the extension over the 50-day moving average is pretty aggressive. Now, the market's pulled back over the last 2 days, and many of the leading stocks are already back at their 50-day moving average. So should be an interesting read. Go ahead and check it out if you'd like. Look at how nice this hotel is here. Hey, Greg Peters, Traveling D's here. DM. Welcome to South Beach. Just off to our left is that Kith store, which is in NoHo in New York City. I just like the whole vibe of Miami with these palm trees and in the background these Art Deco buildings. It kind of looks like you're living in a video game. That's really the only way I could describe it to people. It's such a fun environment. It's just really, really such a fun environment. People are always outside, lots of outdoor dining. I'm curious to see if Espanola Way is going to be busy. We'll have to see. Now, there's two things in particular that have been bucking this trend. Number one is gold, right? Gold hit fresh new all-time record highs. And also Bitcoin. I think there's a few reasons for that. Now, we've discussed a few of those potential reasons in the newsletter. I think a few of them are political. If you think about the fiscal policy and the actions of the Biden administration, they're very, very big spenders. And if you look at the fiscal policy of a Trump administration, they are also very, very big spenders. So no matter the result of the presidential election, you're going to get more spending, whether you like it or not. And to me, that's inflationary. So I think the market is really crowding into gold here and Bitcoin. Also, there's a lot of uncertainty circling the upcoming presidential election for obvious reasons. Hey, Patrice 2020. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm glad you enjoyed the newsletter. I'm glad you got it. Now, just off to our left is going to be brand new condos and hotels. I think it's going to be called the Shore Collection or the Shore Club. But a lot of these older kind of Art Deco buildings that are in really disrepair up and down Collins Avenue are set to be torn down, and in its place is going to be new product, which is good. I see Dante Rose. Thanks for joining us. I just love the shots of the palm trees with the buildings in the background. It's awesome. Professor Dario, welcome to South Beach. Arsenal Fan 13, thanks so much for joining us. Trust you're well. Hopefully you were able to watch some of the Copa America and the Euros. Congratulations to Argentina and Spain. What's up, Larry Adams, Dave in Maine, Brad's Brain. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Now, here's another one. Opening in 2025. There's actually two of these projects. The project I'm most excited about is this one coming up on the left. It looks like what they're going to do is preserve the original Art Deco facade and just kind of build around it. It's very interesting. I've never seen that done before. We'll have to cross the street so you can get a little bit better view and a little bit better glimpse of it. This is now 18th Street and Collins Avenue. Brad's Brain says somebody mentioned IBM a while back. Didn't meet my parameters, needs more consistent earnings, but I've missed a 10-point move since then. Still watching it. Now, someone texted me today. I'm not sure how true this is, but apparently there's going to be some issues with Qualcomm's new chips. Haven't heard anything about that, but apparently there could be some issues there. We'll see. All right, we have the light. Let's cross. I always like looking at the outdoor dining stuff here from 18th Street down to about 14th, where if you make that left, it'll bring you all the way down to Ocean Drive, which is quite nice. So these are the two projects that I was talking about. You can kind of see how the original facade of the building looks to be they're going to resurface it or restore it. I've never seen that done before. It looks kind of unique. Hey, what's up, D? Thanks for joining us. Hank P, what's up? Actually seems to be quite a few people out tonight. And the restaurants seem to be busy too. Look at this outdoor dining setup here. It is a tad windy, but it feels nice because today it was like 92 degrees in Miami. It was pretty hot. Ooh, the one thing I forgot to show you guys when I was in downtown Miami 2 nights ago, the construction on the Waldorf Astoria residences looks like it's progressing quite nicely. The entire foundation is filled in, and you can see these big iron rebars sticking up. So I wouldn't be surprised by the end of the year we could actually start to see maybe the bottom third of the building actually go up and be constructed, which would be pretty cool to catch that on live, because we could probably make a montage or like a time lapse of that building going up. Brad's brains got shook completely out of my Kava yesterday. I'm convinced it's a $300 stock, but had to jump out for now. Same here. Look, it's a new issue, and it'll probably retest that breakout point. And I have no qualms or issues with rebuying it higher than I originally bought it. No issues at all. Still watching the stock. There's actually a lot of people out tonight. I thought it was going to be pretty dead. And you can see that beautiful moon over Miami. Doc Sevens has been stocking up on REITs, Real Estate Investment Trust, in the last month in anticipation of a September rate cut. Yeah, you know, that conversation with Fed Chair Jerome Powell and David Rubenstein was pretty good. It was really, really good. In the newsletter that I just sent out, I put the link to that conversation. I check it out, and look, Fed futures are pointing to, well, it's almost 100% guaranteed according to futures that the Fed will cut by 25 basis points in September. I'm not totally convinced, but we'll see. Hey, the Mighty Bull, thank you so much for your very generous $5 donation. Appreciate your support, and I trust you're well. Look at this place. It's a taco place. It has pretty cool outdoor dining. And the sign is this Vespa. They made like the Vespa into a sign. Hey, Duck Sauce, thank you so much for your $2 donation. It says, love the channel, Miami 305 for life. Glad you're enjoying it. And hopefully you can come back and move back to Miami quite soon. Terry Wells is, if Trump elected, how would the market react versus Biden? So Terry, go ahead and check your email. We touched on that a little bit throughout the newsletter. And here's my take. And my take doesn't mean I'm right. I could very well be wrong. But here's how I think about it. And here's how a few of my friends who are, you know, in the business also think about either a Biden re-election or a Trump re-election as it relates to the financial markets. Now, regardless, this is kind of my take, regardless of who's elected, we know two things are a certainty. The Biden administration are big spenders, very big spenders. And we know a second thing, that the Trump administration are big spenders, maybe even bigger spenders than the Biden administration. So to me, whether you like it or not, that's probably going to be a little bit inflationary, right? The economy is probably going to continue to do pretty well under those two candidates. Now, where I think things could deviate a little bit has to do with the US dollar. It is of my view that you would probably have a much weaker US dollar under President Trump, because he's a that it's better for the US to have a weaker dollar as opposed to a strong US dollar. That's, you know, kind of, and he said that repeatedly. He's actually came out and said that. And he'd probably put a lot of pressure on Fed Chair Jerome Powell to cut. Now, I know the Federal Reserve is supposed to act separately of, you know, the fiscal side of the house, but let's just be real. I think presidents could kind of apply pressure one way or the other. So that's kind of what I think. And I think that's why you're seeing Bitcoin and gold specifically. I think that's why you're seeing gold and Bitcoin really starting to ramp here again. So I'd say a Biden presidency is bullish gold, and so is a Trump presidency. Well, we'll see. Nobody knows. We're just all speculating here. Hey Miguel, what's going on? New England Crypto, what's up? We were just talking about some Bitcoin. Miguel says also we'll see commodities rally. You know, it's interesting because let's take a look at crude oil. Now we have a few things at play, and we touched on this when we were talking about home builders, right? We were talking about home builder stocks, which are actually performing quite well. I think KB Home, after their earnings report, traded in a new all-time record highs. But lumber has really gotten crushed here, which is good. Assuming that you want to either build a home, right, or put an addition on your home. Lumber is down significantly, down really significantly. So, yeah, crude oil's holding up, but I think, what are we trading at with crude right now? $86 a barrel? Let me see. Doc 7 says WTI is at 82. Yeah, CL futures are at $80. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, the biggest question for me is where do we think the US dollar is going to go? I think the dollar is probably going to weaken from here. Who knows? We'll see. I mean, what are you guys' thoughts on the Dixie? Fun feeds is oil versus solar versus electric. Yeah, that IBD article kind of covered that a little bit. Covered that a tad. Hey, Tug Carter says, hey Tom, good to be here tonight. Thanks for joining. Adam Luke says, the people who do the spending / waste don't change no matter who the president is. True. True. Now, a lot of these government spending bills, they do juice the economy quite a bit. But you kind of got to play a big balancing act with it. And something that's also quite interesting, which I think is worth a conversation, is immigration and how that impacts inflation. Now, in my view, right, whether you like it or not, and we're just talking from a financial standpoint, not from a political standpoint, it's undeniable that this massive wave of immigration to the United States, right, albeit illegal, the asylum seekers and things like that, that does not have an inflationary aspect. It's actually anything that will bring wages down, so you can consider it to be maybe potentially deflationary. The main difference with Trump, and I think I saw, that was a really good comment. So 58 says Trump talks about putting America first, but doesn't that mean protectionism? That's a really good comment. And the thing about the protectionism that I think a lot of people aren't kind of understanding is that that is technically inflationary. Remember, we're trying to separate these two things. I don't care what your political points of view are, but...
Can we be on screen?
Okay.
Okay, can we say hello or...
Oh yeah, sure. How
hello
are you?
Everybody.
Good to see you guys.
Hello from Denmark.
Oh, Denmark.
Have a good
awesome.
night.
Have a good night. Take care. See ya. They're nice people all the way from Denmark. So again, from a financial perspective, having exclusive American labor is, what is that going to do to wages? I guess I'll ask that question. American labor is more expensive, quite obviously. So I think that's a big difference. So there was a few articles that came out from some pretty smart economists, right? Doesn't mean they're going to be right, doesn't mean they're going to be wrong, but I think those are the two scenarios we're playing with, where maybe a Trump presidency would be a little bit more inflationary than a Biden presidency. Who knows? It's interesting to talk. It's interesting to think about. Hey, Zozo Bob. Good to see you, Bob. I was just talking about they're making really good progress on the Waldorf Astoria, Miami. I can't even picture what that thing's going to look like in the skyline of Miami. I think it's going to be unbelievable. But that's pretty cool, right? Denmark. Hey, the Reaction Kid. Always a pleasure to see you. Trust you're well. Long time no see. Oh, look at this setup here. I like how they put the lights around the trees. All right, so we're now coming up on 16th Street, and we could do one of two things. If you walk down 2 more blocks, you have the option of making a left, which will take us to Ocean Drive, or we can kind of veer to the right and check out Espanol Way. Beautiful landscaping here. Look at that. But did anybody see Netflix reporting after the bell today? I thought they had a really, really good quarter. They beat on both the top and the bottom line. And they raised their guidance on their revenue for the full year. Now, Netflix has really made a big turnaround story. I remember the big bet that Netflix made was, all right, we're gonna really crack down on the password sharing. And many analysts on the street were thinking, okay, if you're gonna crack down on password sharing, that's gonna cause a lot of people to cancel their accounts or cancel their subscriptions. But it actually had the opposite effect, which is quite interesting. Oh, hey, what's up?
RV.
Oh, RV, what's up, man? Good to see you. God bless.
God bless you, man.
Hey, thanks for watching. Appreciate it.
All the best.
Cheers. Have a good night. Drive safe. Oh, it's RB. So cool. You know, we've been seeing a lot of viewers in both New York City and Miami. Quite cool. Very, very cool. Oh, look at this shot here. This cloud passing right by the moon. It's the famous moon over Miami, as they say. Jafet Perez says Netflix is trading at $6.40 a share. Do you think it's oversold? Well, we're about a few points away from a new high. Give me a second. Let me just turn on my do not disturb. So here's my thing with Netflix. If we make a new high, and I'm just pulling it up on my phone, I think that's actionable in the new highs. I really do. So this was the first major decline for Netflix, right, in 2011. This was like a massive, almost 70, 80 point drop. So Netflix is no stranger to these major drops, and that's actionable in the new highs. You know, you kind of want to buy and this isn't advice, we're just kind of talking. But look at the earnings estimates. If you want to see the earnings block for Netflix, just go ahead and check your email. I emailed this to everybody right around 7:30. So just check your email for Walks Wall Street and you'll see it. The most important thing is that they continue to beat and raise earnings. So the quarter that just passed, they reported a few hours ago. They beat on both the top and the bottom line. Their net income exploded. Subscriber numbers picked up quite a bit, and it appears that their new advertising tier for Netflix is doing quite well. It's attracting more subscribers, and they have a pretty good pipeline of different shows. Because you got to understand something. When, obviously, we had a global pandemic, which prevented a lot of development, right? I guess you can call like research and development for Netflix, people shooting new television shows, things like that. There's a pretty good pipeline. There was a major real estate show that just was released, Selling Manhattan, right? That is the new real estate show starring Ryan Serhant. That took them about 2 years to produce. I think that's going to be a smash. So think about everything else that's in the pipeline that they were able to work on over the last 2 years. That's how long things take, right? That's kind of how it was explained to me. The show Selling Manhattan that you're seeing right now, that was in the works 2 years ago. And do the math, what was 2 years ago? That was just kind of when we were getting out of the pandemic, right? People were like, okay, enough of COVID, I'm sick of it. So you're probably gonna have a pretty good pipeline of stuff, which is more reason for people to subscribe to Netflix and the like. So we'll see. Hey, Dan Sang, what's up? Larry Adams says, every time I buy call options for earnings they miss. Well, I think there's a good book that you should read if you're interested in options or derivatives. The book is called Managing Expectations. I'll say that one more time. The book is called Managing Expectations by Tony Saliba. Let me actually pull it up. I'll give it to you right now. Managing Expectations. Okay, that's not it. Anthony Saliba. This is it. Just my internet's not too good. So if you're interested in options or derivatives, this is the book. The author is Anthony Saliba, Tony Saliba, one of the greatest options traders of all time. And this is gonna really help you understand just how these derivatives are priced, right? I think the number one reason why retail traders lose money is because they're punting directional bets for options, right? Options are really not, you're not really supposed to take one-way directional bets. These are hedging products, so you kind of want to have both positions on, some sort of a spread position, some sort of a back spread. But if you just have, oh, let me just buy 30 lot of calls, let me buy, a lot of puts, that's a one-way directional bet. And around event-driven activities like earnings, there's a lot of things at play. The stock could move in your favor, but you have a ton of volatility crush, and all the premium gets sucked out of your options, right? So there's a lot of things to understand there. I don't really trade derivatives. If I'm very, very long stock and it's gone up so much going into earnings, and I think that there's a chance that they could probably maybe miss and the stock will drop like 10 or 15% after hours, then maybe I'll hedge with options, something like that. But I don't really take any directional bets with options, to be honest. All right, this is now Washington Avenue and Espanola Way. We'll go ahead and wait for the light, and then we'll cross and check out all the restaurants. It looks pretty busy. Looks pretty busy. Hey, Surf's Flat Trader, what's up? Thanks for joining us as we wait for the light for Espanola Way. But I think earnings season has been pretty good so far. Banks were okay. Now, let's talk about the negatives. You want to talk about some of the negatives? Now, obviously the positives for the major investment banks like JP Morgan Chase, Goldman Sachs reported earnings. Investment banking revenue has recovered with abundance. It's true. But you're starting to see credit losses spring up here a little bit, particularly in and around credit cards. If you look at JP Morgan Chase, also Discover Financial reported earnings. They crushed earnings, but we're starting to see a small trend back to pre-pandemic levels as it relates to credit delinquencies. So 30-day, 60-day, and 90-day delinquencies. So banks are putting aside more and more money or more funds to account, essentially predicting that more of their customers are going to fall delinquent on their obligations. So anyway, this is now Espanola Way. What do you guys think? Monique says, I missed you. You were right by my hotel. Very nice. Great time to come to Miami. Hopefully you're enjoying your stay. It looks like every restaurant is packed on both the inside and out. Now this is really considered Miami's off-season. And as I've said before, this is really the first year that you're really starting to see what the population growth looks like here in Miami. Wow, Monique is here from the Netherlands. Very cool. Awesome. Glad you're enjoying it. Now, Doc7, I don't know if I got your thoughts. What are your thoughts on Elon Musk moving Twitter, or X, and SpaceX out of California to Texas? Do you think it's a good move, a bad move? Do you think it's Elon being reactionary and in classic Elon fashion? What do you think? Wow. I think every time we come to Espanola Way, it's absolutely packed. Hey, sunshine after rain, what's up? Really like the Spanish style architecture. Brad says nobody makes a move that big on a whim. Elon has known this was his plan for some time. He's a master of timing. I think I agree with you. That decision was made up a long time ago. And I think since that, political move by the governor of California, I think that was Elon's kind of way to stick it and give a reason for it. But to Brad's point, Nobody just goes up and moves their company to another state in a day. I mean, that's planned months, if not years in advance. Wow, what do you think? Hey, the Wizard says, evening Tom, planning on taking the high-speed rail from Orlando to Miami. There's nothing like an evening in Miami. I agree. Let us know how it is. I've never taken it. I'm assuming you're talking about the Brightline. Lost yacht not yet found. Says you said lots of money sitting on the sidelines in money markets. Whose money is that? So if you go to the St. Louis Fed website, you can check it out and look for yourself and read the description. It's a combination of institutional and retail funds, and it is true. It just hit a new all-time record high. I think we're at $6.5 trillion on the sidelines sitting in money markets. So come the time, I guess the theory is, come the time of a market correction, both in equities or real estate, there's going to be a lot of money on the sidelines to kind of pick up the pieces and reinvest for opportunity. Now, keep in mind, money markets now are yielding like 5%. So compound interest is, what, the eighth wonder of the world, as Einstein said, something like that. 5% per annum on 6.5 trillion is a lot of money. That's a lot of money. Now, I get it. I totally get it if you don't want to take on any risk. You know, some people are retired and they're like, look, I lived through the virus. I lived through all this crazy stuff. I'm cool with just my 5%, right? Which are now real rates, right? Factoring in inflation. David S. is, I think people like their 5%. I don't blame them. I don't blame them. Especially if you're not looking to take on huge risk. Look at that. We can go from 1 minute being around all these restaurants, and then the next minute you have a very, very quiet neighborhood. This is kind of what my neighborhood is like. This is kind of what it feels like. Very quiet, palm trees, just super chill. Let's explore down here a little bit, just so we can kind of see the more neighborhood vibe of South Beach. It's kind of nice. This is what I like. I like very quiet. But I think we could all agree on one thing. The US economy, okay, has superseded everybody's expectations by 1,000 miles, okay? If you were to rewind the tape, go back in time during the depths of the virus, okay, almost four and a half years ago now, and if you were to tell somebody where we would be economically and where the market would be today, no one would ever believe you. And that just really goes to show the resiliency of the US economy and the markets, right? There's, America's a one-way street. Hey, Sean. Says we're in South Beach, where fear is nothing. And by the way, your favorite rappers either like it or hate this place. I don't know what that means. But hopefully you're enjoying Miami. these older style apartments, just very modest. Alex is sometimes cooler in Miami than New York City. It definitely sure feels like it. When I was in New York, particularly underground in the subway, oh my gosh, that's probably the most humid and extreme heat I've ever experienced. Hey, Hang with Mark Mom. Thanks for joining us in South Beach here on Espanola Way. Look at that picture. These are the Clusia I always tell you about. These are the best plants to plant. If you're moving to Miami and you're looking to buy a house, single family home, just plant these shrubs. They're called Clusia, and never trim them. They'll grow 20, 30 feet tall, and they're the best privacy hedge. And they're hurricane proof, quite obviously. Many people move down here, they spend $20,000, $30,000 on a fence. You're gonna have to replace it in 10 years, or it's gonna get ripped apart by a hurricane, and it doesn't look as good. I think a natural privacy screen looks way better, in my view. Okay, let's go ahead and walk through Espanola Way one more time, and then we'll check out Ocean Drive. It's cool to see just these random houses. Alex says people do try to plant palm trees in Brooklyn. Very little growth. Well, sometimes they plant them in those atriums, like the atrium near the old Deutsche Bank, 60 Wall Street. Tyler Silva, what's up? Happy Thursday to you, and welcome to earnings season. Wow, look at how beautiful this is. Khalid Mohammed, welcome. What do you guys think? Victor C, always a pleasure to have you. Herbert says, what is a better restaurant for birthdays? I like Mastro's in downtown Miami, but I wouldn't mind having a birthday here in Espanola Way. Hang with Mark Mom, we were just talking about Netflix. Netflix reported earnings, and a pretty good quarter in my view. David says, hurricanes have me concerned about the new Mandarin Oriental Hotel that you spoke about. Yeah, that's right. So the Mandarin Oriental is going to be building a brand new residence and hotel. So if you ever stayed at the Mandarin Oriental Miami, it's on the island of Brickell Key, which is right off of Brickell. The hotel opened in the year 2000, and once the brand new 850 feet tall residences and the smaller tower, which is going to be the hotel. Once that opens, they're going to take down that old hotel, and I'm not too sure what they're going to do with it. Maybe they'll sell off the land, I'm not sure, but as of now, where the plot of land is for the new Mandarin Oriental, that's the last buildable lot in all of Brickell Key. So I don't know what they're going to do. You know what I'm curious about? The big casino company, Genting. I'm not sure if anybody's ever heard of them. Let me know in the comments if you've heard of the company Genting. Apparently they own this huge plot of land just to the left of the Kaseya Center that they've been trying to offload for quite some time. I'm not too sure whatever came about of that deal, if it fell through. I don't remember. Wow, Hang with Mark Mom says I have Netflix free. I never knew that you got Netflix for free with Amex. I'll have to look into it because I have American Express and I don't even know half the kind of perks that come with it. So thanks for letting me know. But they reported a good quarter. Net income was up substantially. This is that Cuban restaurant, Havana 1957. All right, let's cross back since we have the light. I'll give you one more shot. Looking northbound on Washington Avenue. Hang with Mark Mom. This is Tom, you're in New York, so make sure you go to Saks Fifth Avenue and redeem the $50. I never really go to that store, ever. I'm not really that huge, big into fashion, but, and I would presume that you probably can't even get a cup of coffee for $50 at Amex. Let's try to go up and around. That's a good idea. Hang with Mark Mom. Maybe I'll buy a bunch of undershirts, polos. Definitely a good idea. I'll check it out. I'm going to be back in New York City on Saturday. Please God, God willing. But what do you guys think of Espanola Way? I think it was pretty cool. I was surprised by how many people there were there tonight. Because as you know, this is the off season for Miami. And there was huge migration that was sparked by the pandemic. And it appears that it has staying power. People are living here all year round. I like this mini outdoor dining setup here. Kind of gives off a Wynwood, Miami vibe. Discover Financial Services reported earnings today. They totally crushed earnings, crushed it. But Obviously, the Capital One deal, they're still in the process of pursuing, and they had a few mentions that could potentially get blocked and the like, so we'll keep tabs on that. All right, this is where we have to go right here. We're gonna cross to the south side of Espanol Way, and then we're gonna make an additional left, and we'll check out the Betsy Ross. Hey, Mark says, hi Tom, don't you love it down here in Florida? Why do you say God willing to be back in New York City? Well, you know, I want to make it there one piece. Arbode says, evening all Tom, apologize for interrupting, but we're just going home. Oh, cool. Oh no, absolutely, man. It's pleasure meeting you. Thank you for watching. Always a pleasure, and it was fantastic meeting you in person. Isn't Miami fantastic tonight? I parked my Vespa, I think on 23rd Street. So I'm probably just gonna be walking around all night, hanging out. It was a busy day at work today. All right, we got the light. You're still gonna watch these drivers here. And you can see that reflective sign that says Ocean Drive Plaza. That's where we're gonna make a left. Yep. I know, lost, yeah, not found. This is Boeing. Oh my God. It's gotten to a point where, you know, everything that's going on with Boeing is just a disaster for the company. Just a total disaster. So right as we point the camera to the right, you're going to see the Betsy Orb. Here it is. It's quite unique. I think you could walk through there as well. Now, for those of you who don't know, this is the very famous Betsy Orb. Ah, I was right. It says the Betsy Orb is presented as a work of public art installed to connect two architecturally significant buildings. So you can walk through there, which is very cool. I've never done it. Now, we're gonna make this right. And whenever you hear about South Beach, this is what most people talk about, is the main Ocean Drive, because you have direct beach access. Right. And this is where many of those Art Deco buildings are congregated. There's a huge concentration of Art Deco style buildings here. It's quite nice. And this is the Betsy Ross. I love how they block this off to vehicle traffic, so it's only pedestrians. So you don't have to worry about cars whizzing in and out. This is a great place to come, you know, grab a drink outside. What do you guys think? I love it here. And this view is so cool, looking all the way down Ocean Drive. You can see the dedicated bike lanes. You can see people walking back and forth between the different restaurants and the bars. Hey, Tatted Tees. Hi, Tom. How long are you in Miami for? Like 48 hours. I'm flying back to New York on Saturday. But I'm having a good trip so far. The moon is so vibrant and bright, it kind of feels like the sun's out. See the barricade for the vehicle. Now, for those of you who are just joining, just a quick announcement. Go ahead and check your email because I did just send out our most recent copy of the Behind the Street newsletter. So if you want to have all of our updated financial thoughts, I just sent it in the newsletter on our Substack. It's a good choice of music, the Betsy Ross too. And there's a nice breeze now too, which is great. If we continue to walk all the way down to 5th Street, that's going to take us to the south of 5th neighborhood. Which has become a very, very popular neighborhood here in Miami. I like this building, the Winter Haven. This is now 14th Street. You're going to start to notice some more of the foot traffic pickup here. Brad's brain. Didn't some major news anchor pass away today? I was reading about on Twitter. I was just so busy today, I couldn't pay attention to it, but I think some major news reporter passed away. Hey, Solo 401. Welcome to Ocean Drive here in South Beach. We're outside the Cardozo Hotel. Lou Dobbs, you're right. I think he was really old too. I think he was in his 90s. Now Lee, you're in Miami. So wouldn't you say that this year you noticed more people in Miami in the winter? Usually not as busy. Yeah, Brad, I had no idea until I found out over Twitter or X today. This is the Carlisle here. Now, this is where they open back up the vehicle traffic. But I think they should make this entire thing just pedestrian friendly, to be honest. You can see the Art Deco Welcome Center coming up. He was originally a nightly financial reporter on the Financial News Network. Damn. I'll have to watch some of his old stuff. This is probably the most classic Miami shot we've gotten tonight. After you guys kept hammering me to watch Miami Vice, I watched a few old reruns on YouTube, and this reminds me of Miami Vice a little bit. checking out some of the boardwalk. Some of the volleyball courts. During the day, this place is packed. Oops, hold on 1 second, everyone. Alright guys, I have to run. I gotta take this call, unfortunately. I was waiting for this guy to call me all day. But thank you all for joining us tonight in South Beach. If you enjoyed the stream, feel free to leave a like on the video. Click the subscribe button if you're new. We will be back here live tomorrow, probably from Brickell, and then Saturday we'll be back in New York. I just gotta run. But thank you so much. I appreciate all of you, and check your email because I just sent out the Behind the Street newsletter. We talked about a lot and we covered earnings season. So guys, take care and we'll see you soon. Lisa, Mark Francis, Lynn K, New England Crypto, Hang with Mark Mom, Professor Dario, Tatted T, Brad's Brain. Thanks everybody, and enjoy your Thursday night. See you soon.